Okay, so for question one, I did a little research on Evan Williams, and he is a conductor and composer, as we knew from the video. I also found out that he has written many pieces. If you go on his website, it showed about over 50 some pieces that he has each year for different categories in music, such as band, jazz, um, solo instruments, even solo vocals, electro, acoustic, uh, wind band, orchestral, the choir and chamber vocals, even dance and ballet. And then at the end too, it even talks about film slash others that he's also been part of too, which that's pretty cool for him to be able to diverse and be in so many things. So, question number two. The sound of the alarm was dedicated to the memory of George Floyd, Ahmed Arbery, and Breonna Taylor, and many others, to honor the ones who have passed and died way too early in their life. More or less just for the African Americans who passed in a more tragic ways as we've experienced in the past years. Question number three for me, the xylophone sounded more like a traditional technique. The saxophone was covered. I assume that was something with COVID during that time. But to me, it kind of had like a 21st century technique because they were playing like their own kind of beats. They weren't they weren't actually really like they were playing whatever they wanted to play, as that's what it said for them to do. Um, Kind of just going with it. And for me, when I was listening to the saxophones and all that 21st century technique, it started off in the beginning and then it slowed down at the end, and it was like more of a peaceful, relaxing harmony, which kind of reminded me more of a traditional type. Question number four, for how I see this question, I say that everyone has their own ways. Most composers love it when their audiences picture the music in their own way. Everybody's different. We all picture a song differently. Evan's idea is for this piece was it's a workers' union coming together in this piece, and that's what he pictured when he wrote it. And then Evan also talked about how he faces diversity being in the field with mostly Caucasian people for just the music world. He said that during when he was getting his all his education that he has, which he has a lot, it seems like. And then lastly, name 10 personal takeaways. The first one, this song kind of reminded me of World War II, kind of like the bombing that happened during that time, like just hearing the siren or the crank siren. That's kind of how I pictured it myself. Something I also learned, Evan has always had a heart for saxophones. I didn't know that until the end when he said that he plays all kinds of things, but he's always had a heart for saxophones and also percussion. The piece has a melodic passage throughout, so the saxophones pretty much means that they can choose their own notes. So it kind of reminded me when kind of like improvising, kind of reminded me of like jazz music. Evan used his favorite techniques for the saxophone parts. Any techniques that he liked, he put for the saxophones. The saxophone players, when they first started playing this, they all played together, got used to and then after a little bit, they started playing different notes, and then they got various pitches and figured out. Then they finally wanted to focus on the rhythm of how their pitches and everything went together. The percussion are used to that notation style that was used in this piece. Like the saxophones weren't used to it, but the percussion were. The ending for me feels hopefulness. That's just kind of like how I picture like the whole bombing. Like in the end, it's okay, or it's over in a way. Uh, and then the hand sirens, I didn't know about that. The quicker you crank them, the louder they get. So I thought that was cool, and it was an easy way from the crescendo better. And then one last thing I found out that Evan uses David Lane as an influence in his music for groove and time for his pieces. So I thought that was cool.